Assalamu alaikum students. So now our topic is writing equations of circles in standard form. Now we know the standard form of the circle is x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square equals r square, where h and k is the center and radius is this, which is squared in the equation. So when it's given in the equation, it is the squared form. So when we find the radius, we have to take the square root. Okay, so rewrite each equation in standard form, then identify the center and the radius. So to change it into the standard form, what we have to keep our equations is there is no leading coefficient for x other than 1, and same for y. There should be only 1 here, not any other number other than 1. Okay, and it should be a squared. There should be a positive sign in between x and y. Y should be squared. The number which is it's equal to is could be a, we can have a square, we can find the square root of that number. That's not an issue. So now I need to make sure that this x squared is and y squared, the leading the coefficient of x squared and the y squared is only 1. So I'm going to divide both sides by through both sides by 3, so that I can change it to the standard form. I get what? X squared plus y squared equals 264. This is the standard form of the circle, in which x has a coefficient of 1 and y has also the coefficient of 1. Now when I compare it with the standard form of the circle, what do I get? H is, there is nothing subtracted with x, so it's 0, 0. I know my center is 0, 0. There is nothing with x, nothing with y. And my radius is, this is r squared, so my radius is equal to r. In this one, first of all, the equation is not in the standard form. I have to rewrite it, so I need to have y squared here and this 52 on the other side. I know this is squared already, x term is squared. Okay, so x minus 4 whole squared. I'm going to move this 52 to the other side, and y squared to this side becomes plus y squared equals to 52 plus 2 is 54. Now this is in the standard form. When I compare it with the equation, standard form of the equation, my h is 4 and my k is 0. So my center would be 4 and 0, and my radius would be square root of 54, which is 3 square root of 6, because 9 times 6 is 54. Okay, which is approximately equal to 7 point. Okay, now sometimes they're not that easy, these equations. If you remember, we did completing the squares in algebra 2.0. So now you may need to complete the square to write equation in standard form. If you remember, we need to find the third term in completing the square. We used to do b over 2a whole square for completing the square. Okay, we are going to use this. So first of all, we know we are going to arrange x terms, x squared plus 6x, 6x, and I know there is going to be a third term in between, so that it becomes a complete square. Y and y, I'm going to have plus in between. Y is positive y squared plus 2y. I know there is going to be a third term. This 6 is not with y, so I'm going to move this to the other side of the equation. 6. Okay, that's how I'm going to complete the square, and then I'm going to write my equation in this form, completing the square. It's not a complete square yet. So to get this third term, I'm going to use b over 2a whole squared. In this, the first term is squared, the second term is squared, the third term is squared, and the second term is the product of 2 times a times b, the coefficient of this and the third. To find here, I know b is 6 and a is 1. So to get the third term, I'm going to do 6 divided by 2, which gives me 3 squared. So my third term would be a 3 squared for this one. And for this one, my third term would be 2. This b divided by 2a. A is 1 here. So I get 1 squared. Why I'm squaring? Because this is what we are going to use. This is what we are going to use for the third term. So for this one, my third term is 3 squared, and for this one, my third term is 1 squared. I'm going to add 1 squared. So because I added these from my own, so I have to balance the equation. I'm going to add these on the other side. 3 squared is 9. I'm going to add 9 plus 1. Now I can write this as a complete square. I'm going to write x plus, because it's both are plus, I'm going to do plus 3 squared, plus as is, because in the standard form there's a plus in between x and y term, y plus 1 whole squared equals to 10 plus 6 is 16. Sorry, it was negative 6, guys, because 6 moved to the other side becomes negative 6, and it becomes 4. Okay, negative 6 plus 9 is 5, 3 plus 1 is 4. Now the center here is negative 3 if I compare it to the equation of the circle, and negative 1, and my radius is square root of 4, which is 2. This is how we are going to complete the square. I'm going to do one more, inshallah. So let's do question number 9. In this, I can only see I want to find the center and the radius. I'm going to bring it all the x and y terms to one side, and the number and the constant on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to write x squared. There is no other x squared x term, plus, I know I'm going to move this to this side, becomes plus y squared plus 8y equals 105 minus 13, because this 13 moves on the other side, gives me 92. Now I have to complete the squared. There is no other term for x term, so this is a complete square. We don't have to worry about any other term. Now plus, because in the standard form of the equation it is plus in between x and y. Okay, so I have y squared plus 8y. I need to have a third term here. Okay, equals to 92. So to get this third term, I'm going to do b over 2a whole squared. B is 8, a is 1, so I'm going to do 8 divided by 2 times 1 is 2, which is 4 squared. So my third term here is 4 squared. I added 4 squared here on the side of the equation. I'm going to add 4 squared on this side of the equation, which is 16. So I get what? X squared plus y plus 4 whole squared equals to 92 plus 16 is 108. And my center here is, there is nothing here, so it's 0, negative 4. And my r is square root of 108, which is equal to 6 square root 3, which is equal to 10.4. Okay, I'm going to do one more, question 10, and then we are good to have this topic done. So I have x squared, x term, y term. I'm going to bring everything on one side. Okay, in such a way that x squared and y squared should be positive. Okay, so now when I move x squared to this side, I get x squared minus 2x. I'm bringing all this to that side, plus y squared plus 10y, and I'm going to move this to the other side, becomes negative 2. I'm just arranging in such a way that all the x terms, I moved this x squared, it's negative here. I want x positive and I want y positive, so I move this x squared on that side. Okay, now again completing the squared, x squared minus 2x, there should be a third term here, plus y squared plus 10y, third term which has to be added here, equal to negative 2. Now the third term is b over 2a. b divided by 1 is 1. 2 divided by 1 is 2. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is which is 2 divided by 2 is 2 divided by b over 2a is 1, so I get negative 1. I get negative 1 whole square. Okay, and here I get 10 divided by 2 is 5, so I get 5 squared. So negative 1 whole squared gives me 1. 5 whole squared gives me 25. Make sure, keep in mind that you use negative 1 whole square. Don't write the squared value, because this is going to help you that what your completing the square looks like. So now here my completing the square would be x minus 1, because we have b as a negative 1 whole squared plus y plus 5 whole squared equals to, what I get is 24. So my center is 1 and negative 5. My r is the square root of 24, which gives me 4.9. I hope you understand the equations of how to write equations in the standard form. Assalamu alaikum.